Good morning, good evening, and welcome to this week's chat. I really want to have a deep dive on subscriber goals for our YouTube channels and what the difference between like going for the vanity metric versus actually needing the subscriber goals to access different things. So that's going to be the discussion of our topic of discussion. Wow, that's a great start. I can't even build a sentence. So the topic of discussion today will be around that. Now, there's always these little sneaky things that you might come against, especially on a new channel like this one, where we're still coming in under the 1,000 subscribers. We're finding little things that we sort of hit against and realize, oh, I can't do that because I don't have the right subscriber goals. Whereas there's other things that are a bit more lofty that happen after the 1,000. So we're gonna go in and hit on some of those. But firstly, I got my message. Larry from the Rapid Repair or Home Rapid Repair has bought me 3 coffees. I got the message over on my phone. So I just wanted to say a massive thank you for that. It's Father's Day in the US, so I understand if some of you are out or have plans or are doing something. And if you don't, jump in and have some time here with us where we will chat about things that we are all passionate and love. So, but our first message in the chat was from Livestream Consultants. Good morning or good afternoon or evening to you. It's great to see you here. We've got the Creator Classroom has jumped in. So good to see you, Jennifer. Home Rapid Repair is in the chat. I wasn't sure if you were here or not. And everyone is saying good morning, good evening to each other. Amazing Yacht Destinations is saying good morning from Thailand. It is very early in Thailand. Thank you so much for jumping in. It is definitely good to see you. So first things first, A, can you hear the music? B, is it too loud? I'm in StreamYard today and I have no audio levels, so I'm just using the Force. And I am obviously not as force sensitive as I would like to be. So I can't actually tell. I mean, I've got like a little monitor here and I can just hear it, but I don't know if you can hear it. You guys know the drill. So let me know if it's too loud, if it's too quiet. I did want it just to be just audible, but it might be one little touch too loud. Okay, let me just drop that down a little because I just want it to be just that underlying so that there's no dead silence, but I don't want it to be like, you know, it's not a gaming video here. We've got to read the room. We've got to read the room. Okay, so I've just dropped that down. We'll see how that goes. I do have my double espresso latte today that I've made for myself with my fancy coffee machine, which I will say I like. I'm enjoying my coffee today, so that is a good thing. This weekend I did something crazy and I'm suffering for it now. I'm trying to keep all my muscles and bones warm. I built a fence. I mean, not by myself. My neighbors did like with a driving force, but I definitely helped. I carried a lot of lumber. So I held up lumber and made sure it was level, like put the level in and made sure it was all right. I worked out it's about 20-meter fence. Is that about 60 feet? Anyway, I popped some photos up on my personal Facebook and over on the Andrew Can Discord. I think I popped a photo up there as well, so you can go and check those out. But yeah, it was a lot of work and it looks fantastic. I'm still getting sawdust out of my hair. It was actually really fun. It's been a long time since I've done hard labor. My dad was a concreter, so I used to help with that. So my body's used to hard work. I just haven't done it for a while. So yeah, last night I couldn't move. This morning I'm just a little stiff. So just trying to keep everything just a little warm and keep it all stiff, keep it all from seizing up. Saturday night, modding with Doug, I realized my stream deck was a little bit too far than my very sore arm could reach, so I had to pull it in. Let me look at, I've got like, are you warm? I'm a little warm. Yeah, what I've done is I've got a heat pack under my feet to keep my feet from getting cold. I'm dressed because it was like 2 degrees here this morning. I have a blanket. I have an extra heat pack behind me, so I am toasty, but I'm trying to make it so that I, don't seize up sitting in the chair. So, because that's what happened yesterday. So we don't want to do that. Hi, hello, Holly, good to see you. Yeah, maybe that's why you look like you're warm. Yeah, and I was running around a little bit, so I'm a little flushed, just trying to get everything sorted. Okay. So let's have a little talk about subscriber goals. Like, we do talk about subscribers here because I am on this channel looking to increase the subscribers. I make no bones about it. There are reasons for it. There are reasons why new channels need subscribers. And we quite often hear, especially from the larger education channels out there, going, subscribers don't matter. But the point is, they've hit all those little tiny milestones that we're locked out of tools, we're locked out of access to things based on an arbitrary number. So I want to get to some specific things, and I can't get to them without hitting certain subscribers. So those of you that are small creators and under that 1,000 subscriber, I totally understand the frustration that you feel whenever you hear a larger creator go, subscribers aren't necessary, like, subscriber goals are vanity metrics. So you don't need to worry about building subscribers. Just make good content and you'll get subscribers. That is true to a degree. But when you are a new creator and you have a new channel that has not hit 1,000 subscribers, you are being locked out of features. And I'm not just talking about monetization. So while monetization is a thing, when you do have that small 1,000 subscriber level of monetization, you're not actually going to make that much money. It's not going to be a game changer. But you are locked out of features. You are locked away from tools. There are things that you could utilize that you can't get access to. Now, one thing I do want to say is that I have noticed over the last few months that YouTube is reducing subscriber limits on things. So community tab used to be limited, and then it dropped to, it used to be, what was it limited to? I think it was 1,000, then dropped to 500, and now it's for anybody who has advanced features. So, and a channel in good standing. Now, that's an important fact. A channel in good standing. That means no community or guideline strikes in the last 90 days. So if you do any of these things, you can be locked out. Oh, actually, community tab has just dropped down again to intermediate features. So if you have intermediate features, you can keep your community tab. So, but you have to keep your channel in good standing. That means no jumping around getting copyright struck or community guidelines struck for inappropriate content, things like that. So as long as you are making good content that is not, teetering on any borders, some of these things will be easier versus if you are a channel that's a little more risque, these things will be harder for you, okay? Let's have a look in the chat here. It's jumping around. Chantelle has a goal to get specific features. Yes, I do. Sorry. I feel like the redirect to other lives shouldn't be locked down to 1K. I agree with that. That's right. Adding a trailer does also have a milestone. That's it. So, and these are the things, like, there are some little simple things that make it more enjoyable for the viewer, or make life easier for a viewer that us as tiny channels can't get unlocked from. Now, I was having a chat with somebody, and apparently the definition of small channel is very different depending on who you're talking to. So with YouTube, anything under 100,000 subscribers is considered a small channel. So I don't know what they consider this channel. It is like minuscule. What's smaller than minuscule? Something it's microscopic. It's tiny. It is such a small thing, but I impact you and I help you. So the definition of the size of my channel doesn't affect me as it would other people. I think I try to just describe things as small, or I won't use minuscule and microscopic. They feel negative, but we are small channels. We are small creators trying to build up to get to these different things. So I want to have a little talk about some of the subscriber goals, and that YouTube are dropping out the subscriber restrictions on some things. So ABC or ABC thumbnail testing or what does YouTube call it, compare and test, or test and compare, that is not locked behind a subscriber goal. That is, you need to have advanced features in a channel in good standing, and I think that's appropriate. I think that's appropriate. I have no issues with that whatsoever. They have not locked a very, very well wanted, a much called for feature or tool behind a subscriber goal, and I love that. I think that's fantastic, and I think that they should release a few more tools. The community tab is now for intermediate users with channels in good standing. Fan funding, so now you can actually, you know, gain some income if you have a really strong community. Like, I consider you guys a really strong community. You come in every week, you chat, you make great points, you enjoy the banter, you build friendships with each other. I consider you a strong community. And having the access to the fan funding is a fantastic. I think that the fact that they've dropped that down to half of the subscriber goal for AdSense is fantastic. I'm not as keen on the 3,000 watch hours, basically because I'm not there. Okay, but I'm not keen on the 3,000 watch hours. If they could halve the subscriber goal, why couldn't they halve the watch hour goal? You know, so for the fan funding. Because at the end of the day, if nobody pays into it, then YouTube's not losing or gaining anything. But if somebody pays into it, YouTube gain their 30%. So I don't understand why the bar is set quite so high for the fan funding. But I do appreciate that it has been lowered. I do appreciate that. We all know to get access to AdSense, you need 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours within 365 days, or 10 million shorts views within 90 days. So that is a loftier goal, and I also understand why that is set where it's set. Because there was issues, there was adpocalypse, there was adpocalypse 2. There's all sorts of reasons why they've had to raise the bar to get access to AdSense. But I very much appreciate that they've lowered the bar for fan funding. Now, the other goals, the next one up from there, from the 1,000 goal, is if you want access to the to shopping on your channel. Now you have access. Once you hit AdSense, you have access for promoting your own products. So once you're in the partner program, you can promote your own products. So if you've got a Shopify or a Spreadshop or a couple of other stores, you can connect them directly and you can access it that way, which is great. But if you want access to those third-party brands, the affiliate section of the shopping, you have to have 10,000 subscribers and be located in South Korea or the USA. That's still not been rolled out any further. So that is some of those goals. Now there are more goals. There are more things that are locked behind subscriber goals. There is channel redirect, which is locked behind 1,000 subscribers. I don't understand why that's locked. Advanced features and good standing of a channel, I think should be well enough. Also, the creator classroom mentioned it earlier. Adding a trailer, that is 1,000 subscribers as well. So you must have 1,000 subscribers before you can do that. And that's also silly. So like we're talking about the trailer to a live stream. So not your channel trailer, but a trailer to a live stream. So something that when people come into a live stream that's been scheduled, a little short video will start playing. You can either make it like, hey, we're going to be talking about this sort of thing, or it can be like Nick Nimmin has his coffee song playing. You can just have something that just catches people's attention so that they can read that the stream hasn't started yet. But that's locked behind a subscriber goal as well. Now, I don't want to sound bitter about these things. I am a little bitter, but I don't want to sound bitter about it. And I understand that a lot of these things were set up the way they were, but I think that with YouTube pulling away most of the things that made it so people had to subscribe to see your content, it is no longer necessary for viewers to subscribe to your channel to watch your content. Now that that is no longer necessary, I think they need to be backpedaling on a lot of these subscriber goals. Let's have a look. Is it 10K? I thought it was 20K goal. I think it started at 20, but I double checked this morning, and on the YouTube help pages, it does say 10K, but 10 or 20, it's still quite a lot. Let's have a look. Have you tried making purposeful shorts? No, I actually don't like making shorts. I understand why people like shorts. I get it. I really do. I personally don't like them. I will repurpose my live streams into shorts. But I'm not the biggest fan of actually making shorts yet. And that could change, but right now I'm not comfortable with it. If I'm going to sit down and make an actual video with my face that I need to edit, I'm going to make it a tutorial or something that people are actually going to go hunting for, so that it's useful and so that it's an evergreen piece. I don't feel that shorts are there yet. I think potentially long term they will be, but right now they're not. And so if I'm going to put energy into something, it won't be shorts. Let's look here. I'm just reading some comments here. Livestream says, I think to gain more subs, you may have to start making some standalone videos that are not lives and that are more searchable. Absolutely. And that's going to be the next talking point about what I'm doing versus what you should be doing. Okay. Because I'm definitely one of those people that's like, do as I say, not as I do. All right. Agree that fan funding should be from 100 and not watch hours. Look, I'm okay with the fan funding being at 500, but I think they need to reduce the watch hours. But I like your thinking as well. I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no. I agree. I'm also almost at 1,000 subscribers, but only at the 1,400 watch hours. Let's see. Cool. I need to come up with a trailer idea and then got some time. Yeah, you've got to get the time to make the actual trailer. But yes, you've hit your 1,000 subscribers. You've got access to that now. I mostly use shorts to feature other content. Yeah. Well, I mean, if it works for you, it works. I don't know how to help. Shorts seem to help with subscribers, but honestly, I don't see the benefit to the rest of the channel. This is my point. I see a lot of people getting subscribers from shorts, and it's not to say that subscribers from shorts don't work. I've just realized my iPad battery is about to die, and all my notes are on my iPad, so just give me 1 second. That's not clever planning, let me just say. Need to plug it in. Plug in, little iPad. My fingers are not doing fine motor skills today, and believe it or not, it turns out plugging a plug into your iPad, apparently my hands consider that fine motor skills. So yeah, so shorts definitely help to get your face out there, as long as your video makes it to the short shelf, which is not guaranteed. They do build subscribers, but short viewers are not long form viewers and are not live stream viewers. So it's for people that are finding your content who've never seen it on anything except for a short, to get them to come across to one of your other things is very difficult. I see a lot of discussions happening on Facebook groups and Discords where people have built their channel on shorts to get the subscribers, because it definitely works for that. But to get them across to build the watch time and to actually build a relationship, it doesn't happen. And so I think that it is definitely one of those sort of things that you have to think about where you want to go. And I'm one of these people that I'm definitely in the team, start as you want to go forward. I don't want to be a shorts channel, so therefore I'm not going to start with shorts just to get the subscribers. And that is a detriment to me, obviously, but also it would not help my watch time at all. Because any shorts viewed on the short shelf, those few seconds don't count towards your watch time for monetization. Only shorts watched from a watch page or from like your channel homepage or in recommended on a desktop, they get counted, but not anything served directly on a short shelf. So if people are swiping and you come up that way, that doesn't count towards your watch time. And there is no way I will get the 10 million shorts views in 90 days. So it's not going to be the step to get me monetized. So you have to think about the broader picture and what it is you want to be known for. And I want to be known for live streaming, obviously. But I definitely take the point that I will definitely need to create some other content, because live streams build community, but VODs build an audience. So sometimes you need to build the audience to create the community. But here we've managed to create a wonderful community, and I also get worried that we could damage the community, and I don't want to do that either. So my brain overthinks everything. All right. But for you, when you're making your decisions on how you're going to run your channel, test everything and see what you like creating, and what your end goal is, and then make sure that your path aligns. So if you don't enjoy creating shorts and you don't intend to make regular meaningful shorts, put your energy into your VOD instead. Let me check here. Yeah, not having my iPad plugged in, definitely poor preparation. I usually use a notepad, but I was sitting in the lounge room and didn't have a notepad and didn't want to go and get it, so I just used my iPad. So it wasn't part of my regular setup. On my other channel, we strategically use shorts to get to the 1K, but this channel strategically use lives to help reach the 4K. Yeah, and this is the thing, you have to think about what it is that you want to have for your channel. And look, shorts do work in building subscribers. I'm not going to lie. I've seen a lot of people hit their 1,000 subs, but then they all struggle to get their watch time. So, well, not all of them, but a lot of them struggle to get their watch time because they've built it on shorts rather than on their VOD. And then they want it, like I've seen it in chats, in help forums, where people are like, I just did the subs just to build up, I just did the shorts to build up the subscribers, but now none of them want to watch my long form. And it's like, they're not a long form audience. They're not here for that. They're here for your shorts. They subscribe to you for your shorts. They didn't subscribe to you for your long form. So getting people to jump from, it's equally as difficult to get people to jump from Facebook to YouTube, from Twitter to YouTube. These people are after a Twitter experience. They're going to stay on Twitter. Very, very unusual to have someone come from Twitter over to YouTube, follow your link, but they might, which is why I still post there. But I also multi-stream to Twitter as well. I don't get many Twitter views on there, but I'm using StreamYard. It doesn't cost me anything extra to do it. It's not extra energy to do it. So that's why I do that. So Creator Classroom actually said that their watch time was more than double when we use the shorts. That's great. That's really good. That's not the experience of most people. I'll be really honest. But I'm very, very glad that it worked for you. I'm very glad. But this is the thing, you need to test and try different things to see what works for you. But this is not going to be a shorts channel. There will be shorts, there are shorts on this channel, but it's not the focus. So you need to make these decisions for yourself. And just because I decide to do something one way doesn't mean that that's the only way to do it. There are so many different paths to forge on YouTube, so many different tools and tricks and video edits and talking styles and content styles. Find one that you love making and give that a try, because we can't all be the same. There's no point if everybody is the same. So see what you love making and go from there. Home Rapid Repair says, all great points. My channel total views near 3 million. Congratulations, that is amazing. 2/3 are shorts and 1/3 is long form. I've cut way back on shorts because I want to be known for the VOD evergreen videos. Yeah, your channel is just powering along, Home Rapid Repair. I'm so happy to see your milestones that you're posting, and I see them over on Twitter, and I'm like, yeah, it's so good to see. And I love that you've decided, like, you've sat down and you've had to think, you've looked at your data, and you've made the decision. So, and now you're going to switch a little, and you can totally do that, as long as your audience will follow you. Exactly, for this channel, shorts haven't really been ideal, although I'm working on vertical videos. I'll try again. Although I'm working on vertical videos on Instagram to figure out if I could make it work on YouTube. And this is testing and trialing, and I'm here for that. I'm absolutely 100% behind you to test and trial and see what works. Because do you know what, especially for you, Creator Classroom, YouTube is not your only audience. There are so many people out there utilizing Canva for so many different aspects of their businesses. I am sure you'll find an audience, especially on Instagram. There are a lot of people over there who need help with their Canva. And I think that if you are making it and going to put it on Canva, it doesn't hurt to put it on YouTube as well. I'm just thinking more along the lines if you are making vertical content already, it doesn't hurt to put it on a few different platforms that have vertical content just to see what works. Run it as tests. If you've got a Facebook page, if you've got Twitter, if you've got Instagram, if you've got TikTok, have a think about, would I be able to find somebody who needs me here? And also Pinterest. A lot of people sleep on Pinterest, and I sleep on Pinterest, which is terrible, especially for my yarn crafting channel. I know a lot of yarn crafting people love Pinterest. But the reason I sleep on Pinterest is because sometimes I get frustrated as a Pinterest user by having to, you're like, oh, that looks fantastic. That's exactly what I want. Click. And then it's like, oh, you'll need to click here to get to that thing that you wanted. Then you click. And then it's like, actually and you end up on this click like highway trying to get to, like, if it takes me more than 2 or 3 clicks to get to what I want, I'm out. Like, I do not have any problem with somebody trying to make a little bit of income by making it so you have to click onto a page that they're serving ads on, right? So maybe 2 clicks. The second it's like click here, then click here, you're just being fed ad after ad after ad so that they get extra income. And that bothers me. That is destroying your viewer or potential watcher or even potential customers, like faith or confidence in you, because you've wasted their time to earn income. So for me, if I click to someone's page and it's got ads, I don't care. I'm like, I will scroll. I'll let lots of ads show up. But if those ads in any way stop me from finding what I'm looking for on your page, I'm out. So, oh, okay, there we go. That's interesting. The vertical content is not necessarily Canva tutorials, it's more B-roll inspired kind of content. Okay, that's an interesting test. I'd love to see how it looks too. I can imagine it would be beautiful. Holly likes Pinterest. There we go. See, the less steps, the more steps audiences has to make, the less often. Yes, you need your audience to be able to find your page, and if you're making them jump through hoop after hoop after hoop after hoop, they're going to give up. Now, we've had a bit of a talk about some of the things that you need the different subs for, and that's not an exhaustive list. I do come, like, every now and again I'll hit something, I'm like, oh man, I need a certain number of subscribers for that. So if you're not using StreamYard or Ecamm or one of these streaming tools, and you want to go live on a mobile, actually you can't use Ecamm on a mobile, I don't even know why I said it, but something like StreamYard, you need 50 subscribers to be able to go live on a mobile if you just want to go directly through YouTube's native app. But if you use StreamYard, you don't need to do that. It skips that hoop. I'm not quite sure how they do it, but they do it. But yeah, so there's every now and again you'll come across something where you'll be like, oh, I actually need a certain number of subs for that. Didn't realize. I'm just moving my heat pack for my feet over. So the list that I've given there is not exhaustive. There every now and again you'll come across something else, but they're the main ones that I come across or I've noticed from a live streaming perspective, is not being able to, join into the members funding yet, AdSense yet, being able to access shopping, because I'm not part of the YouTube partner program. I can't even put any of my own merch up yet, which I haven't created for this channel, so it's actually no biggie. But there are people who have it, so it's one of those things. But there are some reasons, like, you have to think about the why. Why do you want a certain sub goal. And I'm not saying goals are bad. Goals are good. Goals motivate you. Goals help you to focus and to go towards something. And so having a subscriber goal is not a bad thing, but it depends on your why. So, you know, like I see these like people like they've just started their channels, they're very new, it's their first channel, but their subscriber goal is a gold play button. That is a lofty goal. That is a huge goal with an enormous amount of work. Now, having that goal is not inherently bad. It's a hard goal. It's a difficult goal. It'd be the equivalent of a 3-year-old who doesn't know yet how to swim, wanting to be the best swimmer in the world and win a gold medal at the Olympics. It's not to say that can't happen. It can definitely happen. But there's a lot of work between now and hitting that goal. So I am all about those in-betweeny goals, the mini goals as such, the little things or stretch goals, the little things that you can be like, oh, I made this one, that is awesome. So that you don't feel like this goal is just so far beyond your reach that it's disheartening. There are times when having only one goal is disheartening. Even swimmers have smaller goals. They want to get a certain personal best. They want to hit a local, you know, a swim meet and do well. They have intermediate goals as well, even though they have their lofty ultimate goal. So my current intermediate goals include 500 subscribers and watch hours, but my subscriber goal is the 500. So right now, that is my goal, 500. And it feels attainable. It doesn't feel too far beyond my reach. We're nearly there. Now, admittedly, I'm not going to get fan funding even when I hit it because of watch time, because I live stream predominantly and the views mostly come from the VOD. So I do understand what I'm doing wrong there. I definitely do as I say, not as I do. There are reasons. I actually don't like making videos where I'm the talking head. I don't like editing them. I don't like watching them. But that's a personal thing. And you'd think after 8 years I'd be over it. I'm not. I'm not. So I understand I'm adding additional problems for myself. I get that. I really do. But for you, have a look at your goals. Have a look at what it is you're trying to attain. Try and find some little mini step goals. You know, for me, after the subscribers, I want to hit that 1,000. Why? It's not necessarily for the AdSense, because the AdSense will be very low. And even once I unlock AdSense, I still then have to unlock $100 a month of income before I get paid. Who knows when that'll happen? You know, it's one of these things. You just don't know what will happen or how it will work. So, but what I do want to unlock is being able to redirect to other people's live streams. I want to be able to have a live trailer and do something fun and silly in a live trailer. You know, I want to unlock these things at the 1,000 subscribers. And then after that, I'm really like, whatever. Once I hit the 1,000, I actually don't, I have a 10,000 subscriber goal. I have it over on my Fiberific channel, which I think we're about 6,500 there. And I want to have it here as well. And the reason why I like 10,000 is lame, okay? It is a lame reason, but it puts me in the top 1% of YouTubers. Hitting 10,000 puts you in the top 1% of YouTubers. And that's it. That's the reason. There's no real reason, because once you've got access to all the tools, the only reasons for the goals are arbitrary. There's no actual advantages. I'm gonna, you know, there is caveat to that. There's no actual advantages to having those goals on YouTube. It doesn't unlock anything else. But what it does do is it makes people outside of YouTube who don't understand how it works, they think, oh my gosh, they're doing so well. You know, oh wow, they've got 100,000. That's fantastic. I'll listen to them. It gives you, I mean, I want to say clout. Clout's not really the word I'm looking for, but it makes people who don't understand how YouTube work look at you differently. And so, you know, that could be advertisers, that could be brand deals, it could be general viewers. There's a lot of different people that don't understand that hitting that 10,000 puts you in the top 1%. So, you know, like, so I see a lot of amazing channels where their content is phenomenal and they're doing such a great job, but they feel like failures because they've only got 20,000 subscribers, and you're just like, how are you a failure when you're in the top 1%? Like, we need to adjust. We need to adjust what the failure versus success is in our brains when it comes to YouTube subscribers. Now, I'm not saying that don't have the goals. Like, absolutely, YouTube put those plaques there as dangling little carrots for everybody. Have the goals because you could hit it. If you don't have the goal, you can't hit it. But until I hit the 10,000, having that next goal for me and how my brain works is super stressful. And it makes it feel like it's unattainable. And therefore, then I stop trying. And I don't want to stop trying. So I understand how my brain works. So for me, I need to create steps. And once I hit that step, then I can, like, I don't mind having 2 steps ahead, but 3 or 5 or 100, I stress out a little bit and I overthink, and it's very bad. It's very bad. Let's have a look. Bragging rights. Yep. I mean, that's part of it for sure. Creator Classroom says we're on our way to the top 1%. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Oh, and I love this as well. And think about that number of people in the room. Like right now, there are 8 of you sitting here on YouTube watching this. Now, if I was to sit in a room with the 8 of you, I would actually already be a little nervous because I'm not good with groups of people that I can see all your faces. I actually think I'm better with like 20,000 where you're up on a stage and you actually can't see anyone's face. It's just there's lights on you and it's a blur. I'm better with that. But with 8 of you and I'd be talking about this, I'd probably be a little bit nervous. And 20 and 50. And I think about Nick Nimmon's streams that can get up to 300 and 400 people on them. And I'm like, yeah, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people that are watching. So, yeah. If I were in a room with the 5,500 people, I'd have a panic attack. See, but there's 5,500 people that have subscribed to your content that want to see what you're making. So it's one of those things. Doug Hewson, good morning. Are you warm? It is dang cold. I woke up this morning here, it was 7 a.m. and it was 2 degrees. And that is wrong. This is subtropics. We're not supposed to have 2 degrees. SMA Sky says with the 8 of us. And this is the thing, there's nearly 500 subscribers on this channel. If there were 500 people in a room listening to me talk about live stream, I would probably be a little bit shaken in my boots. Actually, that's pretty guaranteed I'd be shaking in my boots, but I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to stop. So I have these little goals and they help me to get to the larger goals. But I'm one of these people, and you may not be this person. You might need the gold play button, carrot dangling, to help you focus on your trajectory. But for me personally, I need the smaller goals. I need something that feels realistic. And for me, the silver play button does not feel like a realistic goal, not yet. And just because it's not a realistic goal for me now doesn't mean it won't be a realistic goal for me later. So right now I need realistic goals, and my realistic goals are 500, then 1,000, and then I'll focus on the 10,000. But right now I'm focusing on 500, and that feels like a really easy to focus, easy to digest mini goal. And then I would love to hit the 1,000. And then after that, it's smooth sailing, you know, because you've unlocked the subscriber goals to all the tools except for the shopping, like as in the brand shopping, not your personal shopping. It's just one of these beautiful, it's just beautiful that you can hit this just like in the scheme of the 100,000 or the 1 million goal, 1,000 feels so small. But it is also a very hard step because most of us in this first 1,000 are learning how to make videos, are learning what our message is, are learning who our audience is. It's an intense and massive learning curve when you're first doing this first step. And then after that, it gets easier. It's like the first step, you have to like jump up onto it. And then the rest of the steps are normal size steps. Let's have a look. I've been in a few rooms with 5,000 people, and it's a bit different dynamic than if you had 5,000 on live stream. It is. I've performed in front of 22,000 people. I think it's the most I've done. 20. I think it was 22,000, something like that. And it's a very different feeling than being on a big live stream. I've done live streams with 600 to 700 people on them. The dynamic's totally different. It really is. But it's a good visualization. It is a good visualization. SMA says I'm at 856, and that just feels odd for some reason. Like, odd in what way? I'm very curious. Doug says at his place it's currently 14. Feels like 11. I don't even have my phone with me. Oh no, yes I do. I'm thinking, yes I do. I do have my phone with me. Let me just check what the temperature is right now, because I could be just being a baby. Luckily, I decided to check the temperature because Amazing Yacht Destinations has bought me coffees and says, thanks for inspiration to reach our goals. And I'm hoping to inspire you not just to reach your goal, but to create a goal. And that it's okay to have subscriber goals, but understand why you have that subscriber goal. Now, I got totally sidetracked. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm looking for the weather. The weather. Here it's 13.8, feels like 11.4. And Louis is losing his mind. So I'm just going to, I just got a notification I have a parcel coming, so I'm just going to check to see what that is. I do have a be right back screen, so I'll be back. The downside of live streaming with a dog in the house is that they let you know when there is. Originally I went out, no one there. Louis was just barking because the neighbor's dogs were barking. And I was just about to come back in and Louis starts barking again. Coffee beans have arrived. Crisis averted. So let's have a look here. So Creator Classroom says, I'm the same way as Chantelle. I like a realistic goal. I thought 250, then 500. Then 750, then 1,000 and onwards. 10K feels outlandish, but you're getting closer. Getting closer. Let's have a look here. SMA Sky says, to be honest, I'm not sure in what way. I guess the 856 people who follow my content, although I'm sure most of them are actively following. I guess it's just the idea that they could. And that's part of it. That is absolutely part of it. Getting, it can feel a little surreal that there's 856 people who are passionate about what you're passionate about, especially if you're in a niche that you kind of do by yourself and you don't really see many people interested in it. I can see how that would be surreal. I felt that way about yarn crafting, and I knew a lot of people knitted and crocheted, but I didn't know anybody. Well, I had one friend who did, and it sort of it was a little bit weird that people wanted to sit with me while I crafted on a live stream, and now it's a thing. So, Doug says, now that I've reached the 10K, I don't actually have any new subscriber goals. I'm thinking about content goals. I love that. I love that thinking. Hang on a second. Let's jump out of the Creator Mix playlist. I'm just checking. Oh, no, it's still there. Oh, it's a good Creator Mix song. I think for a live stream consultant says, I think for beginning or small creator, initial sub goal should be 100, then 250, then 150, then 1,000. Because back in the day, before we had handles, to get your customized channel name, you had to hit 100. And so that was a thing where you needed to go and get that first 100 subscribers. So you did have a little tiny goal to hit that first 100, and then you could go and get your customized channel name. Whereas now, once you've verified who you are, like, you can change your handle to whatever you want straight away. And like, I like that, but I also like that I also liked that 100 mini goal. So yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. And this is the thing, you have to just keep improving your content on every video, and the big numbers will come in time. And this is the thing, like, I see people like, I put out 50 videos and I've got, you know, it's taken me 2 years, but they didn't learn anything from one video to the next. They put out 50 videos of similar quality. They haven't learnt from each video. And that's the thing, it's not just about the number of videos you put out. Like, I see this thing of like, make 100 videos before you start worrying about subscribers. And I get the thinking behind it, but you have to learn from each of those videos as well. You can't just dump 100 videos out there and go, okay, I've made my 100 videos. You need to learn and improve from each video to the next. And even if it's one little tiny thing, improving the audio a little bit, tightening up the editing just a little bit, you know, you need to learn something. So that in this 100 videos is not just a goal of 100 crap videos, it's the learning curve itself. So by the time, the difference between that first video and the 100th video, they could be poles apart in viewer experience. So yeah, there's that. Which Instagram profile is you? Well, there's about 11 billion on Instagram. I think I have 3 Instagram accounts. So I have the Chantelle Hills 1, which is the Instagram for this channel. I have a Fiberific account, and then I have a personal account that I don't give out or use for anything. So you can choose either of those, but I think if it's anything related to this, Chantelle Hills 1 is the one to go. Coffee beans, absolutely. Speaking of coffee beans, one thing I wanted to say, and I don't know if the audio on this is going to work, so we'll see. But I have my supporter page that I've made, and these are our these are like our members that I have over on Buy Me a Coffee. And we have on the cold brew level, we have live stream consultants, and then espressos are Doug Houston and Amazing Yacht Destinations. These people every month support, and I can basically bank on it. And I just think it is wonderful. And I also thank everybody who has been adding in the, you know, the buying me coffees regularly week from week. I don't know how to describe this. I found it very difficult justifying this channel for a little while. I had made no way for anyone to possibly help. I hadn't mentioned anything, and yet, you know, was surprised and disappointed that I wasn't getting any financial support in that regard. Shocking, I know. But since I've made it possible and I've shared the information, you guys are making these live streams possible every week, and helping me to prioritize the time. Because as small business owners, we do have to think about the return on investment a little bit. I try not to think about it too hard, but especially because I just love live streaming and I want you to have the information. But every now and again, just being able to justify to myself of like, well, hey, actually, I've got these 3 amazing monthly supporters and these regular supporters as well. So I can't skip out. I might have a cold, but I can't skip out. So let's have a look. Home Rapid Repair says, I prefer hearing you talk about new YouTube updates than the boring, dry corporate channel. I agree. I 100% agree. Yeah, the YouTube channel is a dash on the dry side. Let's have a look. Occasionally, Esme Sky said, occasionally I have someone jump in on a live stream that says they were looking for what I had and no one else had it, and that felt nice. I'm glad they let you know, because like we do have lurkers, we do have people who don't necessarily comment or say anything, but you know, when they let you know that they're there and that you are doing something that they are enjoying, I just think that's a bit special. Did I press stop? No, music's going back again. All right. The Creator Classroom says it feels weird that people want to learn Canva from me. I had to get over that quickly and pivot to I am good at what I do, so why shouldn't people want to learn from me? You know what? I haven't pivoted that yet. I am still in that why do people want to learn live streaming from me? But I'll get there. I'll get there eventually. I will. If you don't improve from one, this is where we were talking about the videos where you need to improve each one. If you don't improve from each one, then nothing will change. This is, and a live stream consultant agrees. It's exactly right. It's exactly right. Okay, Creator Classroom. I'll go and check that after the stream. Doug's talking about espresso. Speaking of espresso, I've got my double shot espresso latte in my Yeti. Dry my throat. Fix my dry throat is what I'm trying to do. It's so thoughtful, and it means so much as a creator for people to support us in a small way. Absolutely. And if it and I get that not everybody can support financially. I 100% can see that. But just a comment here and there, just a little like, hey, that was a great video, or I learned something from that. You know, just something light and positive is so much better as well. Like, the view is wonderful. Don't get me wrong. The view is wonderful, but having someone actually comment is also special. Doug says I'm not a YouTube shill. Okay. Let me have a look. I always say use what works for you, even if it's not Canva. I know Chantelle prefers Adobe, and I think that's great for her. Yeah, I think just use what works for you. I mean, I already pay for the Adobe suite, so I get the full open version of Adobe Express included. But there is a free version. It's like Canva. There's a free lighter version available, and you just use what you've got access to. For me, a lot of it came down, like with Canva, there was two things. One is I didn't like how they treated their young affiliates or their new channel affiliates, and that helped grow their business to where it was, so they could be like, no, we don't need you anymore. I didn't like that. But also it was a financial decision. I was already paying for one and I couldn't afford to pay for another, so I had to choose. So they were the two reasons. Let's have a look here. There's some great conversations. Let's see. Chantelle, pivot. You're good at what you do. Pivot your thinking today. I will try. I will try. And you know what? I come in every day, every time I'm live streaming, with the mindset of helping you to live stream. And that's it. That's my mindset. That's my goal, is as I'm trying to think of like, what is stopping people from live streaming and how can I get rid of that? Because I think I love live streaming, and it's something that's really special for me. And you understand that I don't feel as comfortable when I'm pre-recording as when I'm live streaming. I don't understand it. I'm on the exact same camera. I don't get it. I don't know. There's probably some deep psychological thing that I just don't understand. But I want you to be able to live stream. And so I try to come up with every single possible reason why people aren't live streaming and try to help you through that. And that's kind of my goal here, is to do that. So if you've got any reasons why you're not live streaming, let me know. And sometimes live streaming is not for your audience. I get that too. But if you're here, I figure you want to learn live streaming. Let me have a look here. Chantelle, how many streams have you done over the years? You have plenty of experience to share all that you've already learned. Yeah, I've done a lot of live streams. I don't even know. I'm just trying to think. So around, if I estimate around 50 a year, that's probably a good amount. For 8 years, it's like 400 streams. And I know some people stream that many times each year because they stream daily. So yeah. I do have lots of experience in making things work. Like with you know, being told you can't live stream with what you have, really? Okay. Look at me live streaming with what I have. So yeah. Yeah. Chantelle, the reason why we need you, there are thousands of channels showing how to live stream with specific, but you're the only one that I know that does the why, the risk, the goals, and so much more. Oh, thank you. Thank you. There is definitely more to live streaming than just the technology behind it. That is for sure. That is for sure. And not that you don't need to get your head around the technology as well. Definitely do, but there is more to it than that. Let's see. Agreed 100%, needs more. Yeah, the YouTube channel, is that the YouTube creators? Because I loved YouTube creators when Tom was doing it and he had his little notepad and he'd be like, there was personality, there was life to it, you know, whereas now it's very heavily scripted. It feels definitely more like a product of YouTube rather than a product of a YouTube staffer, if that makes sense. So yeah, I agree there. There is no try, there is only do. And yep. Oh wow, yeah. Look, SMA Sky, I 100% agree with you that the community here is just great. I 100% agree with you. Definitely. And sometimes building a really tight-knit community is enough. And the subscriber number doesn't matter. The goals that are lofty goals don't matter because of you. The people that are here, the community that you build can make or break whether it's worth it. I was chatting with a lady and she felt that her community was toxic and that and her moderators were toxic. I think I discussed that with you guys a while back when we were talking about moderators. It is definitely building a encouraging and encompassing and just like, I know if somebody jumped into this chat that wasn't part of this regular community, you guys would not make them feel unwelcome. Like, oh, who are you? Like, this is, you know, what are you doing in this chat? Do you even know who Chantelle is? Do you know what I mean? Like, there are some of those people that you see, I'll jump into a chat and be like, hey, everybody. And like, we don't do that here. And it's like, oh, okay. Thanks. Rather than be like, oh, you're obviously new. You know, with this chats, like these are the chat rules or whatever. Like, they don't make you feel they don't make you feel welcome. You make everyone welcome. The community that is in the live chat makes everyone feel welcome. And I love that. I love that. You're also kind, casual, not perfect, authentic, and treat others well. That's a pretty good description of me. That's a pretty, like, not perfect is definitely in there. And I do try to treat people well because we all have our own little thing that may or may not be what's stopping us from doing something. For me, I don't like having my face in videos that I have to edit. And I know that, and I know it's a bad thing. And I know that as a YouTube creator, it's kind of weird. I get it. I do. But I also know you may not have that exact same hang up. Your hang up could be the live stream. Your hang up could be coming up with an idea or feeling comfortable to talk on a topic for a certain amount of time. for creating a thumbnail. I know some people that make amazing content, and it's like this. There's this one guy, I can't think of the name of the channel. He's on a sailboat and he's just sailing, and it's just crystal clear waters and blue skies and dolphins, and he gets this footage, and it's got like, it's over the, it must have the cameras hanging out over the sides of the boat, and he gets this amazing footage, but his thumbnails are terrible, so he's not getting the click. So he's had to go in and dig deep and learn how to make the thumbnails that match his content, because the content is phenomenal, but the thumbnails aren't great. Another friend has a photography channel, makes fantastic tutorials and videos about photography, but for somebody who is a visual person of how to create a fantastic photo, couldn't get their head around thumbnails and needed to learn how to do the thumbnails, even though everything else was on point. We all have something that we need to get better at. And even Nick Nimmin with his big channel is always testing and trialing. And Justin Brown, you know, it's like, what's he at now? Like 1.6, 1.7 million subscribers. He's testing and trialing and changing things all the time. We don't get to a point and go, okay, it's easy sailing from here on in. There's always a next step. There is always the next goal. There is always the next thing to learn. And we need to make sure that we do that. Let's have a look. You know, I was faceless because it was hard to do that until I finally just faced the fear and did it anyway. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I did go a little off track. So yeah, thanks. I do that sometimes. Don't we know that that's what we do here? We just go off on tangents. Livestream Consultant says, I'm always amazed at how simple going live can be with just a little preparation. So many think going live is such a huge production, but they're already making videos to post on YouTube. There is a lot of similarities between just creating a video and going live. A lot of similarities. And if you're already creating videos, you can go live. Yeah, I often think the same thing, I'll be honest. SMA Sky says, I don't like my voice. That makes it tough. I only have 2 videos with voiceovers so far. Tough when you've got sound going on around all the time. The only time it's quiet here is everyone is sleeping. Yeah, I can definitely see that that would be an issue. I know that when I'm chatting with Doug at like 2 a.m. on a Saturday night, if my daughter hasn't gotten to sleep before we start the stream, she just complains the whole time. Can you shut the door? Can you do? Because, you know, it's just awkward timing. Doug is reminding everyone to drop a like to support Chantelle. Thank you. Yes, please. I like the likes. I like the likes no matter where you're watching. I can see that there's 18 eyes, but 9 of them are on YouTube. So there's 18 people watching from either or another 9 watching from either LinkedIn or from Twitter. Make sure you like the post of the video that you're watching, even if you're not watching on YouTube. And I do believe I can see comments from LinkedIn and Twitter. I know LinkedIn's a little hit and miss, but Twitter, I think I should be able to see them. Yeah, the voice thing is pretty common. I hear a lot of people talk about how hard it is to edit their voice. And I remember that being an issue at the start when I was doing the Fiberific videos, because funnily enough, I did videos for a long time before I live stream over on the Fiberific channel, and I kind of just forced my way through it. And now my brain doesn't let me force it quite so easily. It's found some new things to hate and focus on. Tech for Your Needs says, I'll never stop learning until the day I die. That is a great, great way to think about it. I'm the same. I love learning. I love learning all the things. And just because I've learned how to do something one way doesn't mean I'm not going to keep learning to do things different ways. There was a post over on a yarn thread. There was like, someone was like, oh, I do this one kind of knitting, but I'm thinking about learning this other kind. And I'm like, do it. Because I've learned, you know, and listed off like 5 different ways to knit, and I've learnt them all, and I love them for all different things, and none of them are better or worse than each other. They're just different. And just keep learning things. I live stream with OBS and StreamYard and Ecamm, and I've tested out EV Mux, and I keep trying and learning, because I think if you have all your eggs in one basket, it's something bad's going to happen. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. It does get easier with the hearing of your own voice. It does, yeah. That's right. It's free to hit the like button. There is no cost to hitting the like button. That's right, Tech Viennese. I love that. Live Stream Consultant says, I think the main reason so many are hesitant to go live is in an on-demand video or a VOD. They can make as many takes as needed to get right. When it's live, it's one and done take. It comes down to control. Yeah, look, do you know what's really bizarre? I'm a little bit of a control freak, okay? It's hard to believe. I know, it's hard to believe. And yet I actually love how freeing it is on live streams, because it's like, if I make a mistake, whatever, move on, can't do anything about it now. It is done. And I think that whole control thing is a big part of it for a lot of people, for YouTube, being able to, like, they don't get to control how people think or what they say about their video. And I think lots of different people have different variations or versions of what it is that they like to control. Learn to stack skills, says the Creator Classroom. Absolutely. Absolutely. What I can say is it could surprise you how learning something could actually help you later on down the track. Many, many years ago, I used to paint houses, and when I was very first learning, I got a lot of blisters on my hand because we were cutting into lots of paintbrush work, and couldn't stop just because there was blisters. So I learned how to cut in with my left hand and like do top coat with my right hand. And I really, like, I was already a little ambidextrous, but like that really pushed in. And when I crushed this hand, it meant I could still write, because while my left-handed writing is not as clear as my right-handed writing, it's still clear enough to read. So I wasn't in a position where I was just totally down and out when I crushed my hand. So being able to, like, something that I learnt 30 years ago and then slowly built the skills on by practicing different things that were left-hand dominant, has meant that, when was it? It's like maybe 5 years ago when I crushed my fingers. Like, cause I crushed 3 fingers and now I've got permanent nerve damage in one of them. And anyway, when I crushed these fingers and I had like tears in tendons and stuff like that, this arm was pretty well, had to keep it immobile for months. I was trying to like work out how can I crochet, because I can crochet left-handed as well, but you still need to use your right hand, right, to hold things. But I couldn't grip anything. So yeah, stacking your skills it's fantastic. It's a fantastic thing to do. Yeah, believe it or not, live stream consultants, I do have control issues. Yeah, I know, hard to believe. Amazing Yacht Destination says, since I started recording, I make less phone calls as I don't like my own voice. I'm working on it. That is hard when you realize you're doing something less because you've been focusing on, and it is a thing, because when you're editing, you're focusing on every word, you're focusing on every sound, every breath that can be heard, every little nuanced noise that you can hear while you're editing. And that makes you think about how you speak more. And it's hilarious because, like, to the point now, when I'm editing an audio line, I can see where I say or ah. Like, I don't even have to watch the video. I'm like, there's an there's an ah, and a so, like, I'm like, oh, I really need to stop saying it. And I consciously know I need to stop saying it. But you know what happens? I say it more. It's so frustrating. And I do it in live streams. I've rewatched, like, there'll be an issue or something and I'll like be scrubbing through to listen to a live stream. And there's so many ums and ahs and so's, and I'm like, oh, how do they put up with it? The video I filmed, the Creator Classroom says, the video I filmed Friday, I messed up my hook. I looked down, I started laughing. I decided to keep the mistake. I'm not using the corrected version. You know what? Sometimes the real life version is just better. It's just better. Frankie over 50 has made it. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's have a look here. SMA Sky says, oof, blisters. That reminds me in welding class doing stick welding, glove heating up, but not wanting to stop until the rod was done. Yeah. Yeah, blisters aren't great. I don't recommend them. Let me think. I took a course in college, for instance, from Creator Classroom. I can't remember the exact class, but my professor was a twin. She heard her own voice and thought it was her twin. Oh my gosh. That's weird when you realize you share a voice, isn't it? Frankie says that I've been doing this for doing it for 8 years, and I don't even see it as myself when I'm editing. Do you know what? I think that's what I need to do. I think because I can edit other people's videos, no problems. It's just my videos, with my face in it. That's the issue. So maybe I need to somehow disconnect the fact that it's me, and that would help. That could be it. That could be the answers that we're looking for to help me get through this. Because I have a video I have to edit. Like, it's some timeline, baby, and I need to get the video edited. So yeah. Let me have a look. All right, I think we've actually made it to the bottom of the comments. I am shocked. I am shocked we've made it to the bottom. Okay, so do you have any questions about any of the subscriber goals, or why you would have subscriber goals, or, you know, like, you know, there is like the whole, oh, don't make a subscriber goal. I have no issues with subscriber goals. I have issues with people thinking that the subscribers is the be all and end all. I don't agree with that. But if the goal is what you need to make you do the thing, then have a goal, but have a look at why you've got the goal. Here we go. Disconnect it. Just pretend the person isn't you. Just make the cut. Yes, I think you're right. I definitely think you're right. Frankie over 50 says, nope, give me views any day. Yeah, look, I'm with you on that one. I'm more watching my view numbers, my view, like the number of views per video and the watch time, than I am their subscribers. And because that to me is more meaningful. I mean, I don't think any one metric is everything. And I think if you focus heavily on a single metric, you're going to get lost in the weeds, and you're going to fall down, because YouTube has so many metrics available, because they weight and balance all of them. All of the metrics YouTube show us are important to YouTube at some level. Okay. So if we focus on one single thing, be it subscriber goal or watch time, or, you know, click-through rate, or whatever, you're not seeing the bigger picture. You do need to focus on everything. But I think if there's going to be one thing I check out the most, it's definitely the views. Creator Classroom says, I have a question. How far away are you from the 3K watch hours? I think I'm at about 1,000. Let me just double check. So I'm much further away from the watch time than I am from the subscribers. Let me look here. 1,088 is currently what is on my earn tab. So we're talking about just my goals for hitting monetization. So I'm still a ways off. So yeah. So while we haven't hit the 500 yet, I'm not super worried about it, because I'm still a long way behind on the views. So, Tech for Your Needs says, I don't like my voice, but I keep pushing because I know it's going to further my future. And you know, there are things, like if there is one little particular thing about your voice, or about your cadence, or your speech, or your talking, whatever it is, if there's a little thing that does niggle you and bother you, you can work on it. You can change things about your voice. It takes practice, and it takes conscious knowledge of what it is that you want to change, and understanding why you want to change it is a big part of that. I watched this guy called Vin Jang. So it's VIHNGIANG, I think. Something like that. So if you just do VIHN, he's a voice coach. He teaches people how to speak. He's on YouTube. He does courses, keynote speaks all over the shop. Like, he's phenomenal. He used to be a magician who now teaches people about presentation and talking, and not just for, you know, creating content, but even just to speak in your workplace. And one of the things that he says is that if you're a 10 out of 10 engineer, but you're a 3 out of 3 communicator, you're a 3 out of 10 communicator, does the people around you think you're a 10 out of 10 engineer if you can't communicate what you're doing? So yeah, I'm like, ouch, but it does help. Livestream consultant says, just don't make the sub goal your primary reason for what you are creating. Enjoying the process, make getting the video or stream done your goal. Everything else will come. I agree. I think that sub goals are great for motivation, but I don't think having subs should be the reason why you are creating. I think there needs to be a larger purpose. I think there needs to be a bigger why. And I think locking down and understanding your why you are doing something can really help more than your subscriber goals or your watch goals or whatever. Understanding why you are doing something, or why you want to do something, or why you want to get popular doing something or be known for something is really important, because your audience will see through you. If your why is just about clout, your audience are not stupid. They're going to see that you don't care about them as anything more than as the number ticked off when they click the subscribe button, and they will leave. Nobody wants to be a number. Nobody wants to be one of millions, a person in a sea of nobodies. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. And if you aren't doing that for your viewers in some way, and I'm not saying if you've got like 1 million subscribers replying to every single comment, but you could have someone in your team hearting comments, and then you or someone higher up actually responding in a meaningful way to questions. Not like, oh, thanks for your comment, when they've actually asked a question. Now, if it's bad or if it's a dodgy question or whatever, like, sure, get rid of it, but remove it. Like, don't just leave it there for other people to see that you've ignored it. Just remove it. But I think it's really important for there to be another reason, not just a subscriber goal. There has to be something more to make it successful. So, oh, there we go. Create a Classroom says, reasons come first, results come after. Yes. If you have no why, if you don't know why you're doing this, you need to sit down and have a good think about it. And if your why is only, subscribers or clout, you need to dig a little deeper, I think. You need to dig a little deeper. Doug's popped in a link here. Thank you, Doug, for sharing that. Here's how to make a Be Right back screen like the one Chantelle used earlier. I do have a full tutorial on how I made that Be Right back screen. I'm really hoping that that is my tutorial link and it's not someone else's link. Just checking. But I do have a full tutorial on how I made that and where I got the resources from. Understand your why you're creating. Have a look at the goals that you're giving yourself. Are they attainable? If they're very lofty goals, it's not a bad thing to have, but maybe set something a little more realistic, or not even realistic, but attainable, so that you can step on that one and look to the next one. Keep making steps, keep going forward, keep trying harder, and we'll see you next week. Have an awesome one now. Bye, everybody.